It's December. This is knowledge time. Welcome, alchemists. Today, I'll be reading from the book "The Laws of Human Nature" by Robert Greene. Currently, we are in chapter 3, part 3. So this will be the last part in chapter 3. So tomorrow, we'll be getting into chapter 4, and part 3 begins. The art of impression management. In general, the word role playing has negative connotations. We contrast it with aut- authenticity. A person who is truly authentic doesn't need to play a role in life. We we think we can simply be him or herself. This concept has value in friendships and in our intimate relationships, where hopefully we can drop the mask we wear and feel comfortable in displaying our unique qualities. But in our professional life, it is much more complicated. When it comes to a specific job or role to play in society, we have expectations about what is professional. We would be made to feel uncomfortable if our airplane pilot suddenly started to act like a car salesman, or a mechanic like a therapist, or a professor like a rock musician. If such people acted completely like themselves, dropping their masks and refusing to play their roles, we would question their competence. A politician or public figure whom we see as more authentic than others is generally better at projecting such a quality. They know that appearing humble or discussing their private life or telling an anecdote that reveals some vulnerability will have the authentic effect. We are not seeing them as they are in the privacy of their home. Life in the public sphere means wearing a mask, and sometimes some people wear the mask of authenticity. Even the hipster or the rebel is playing a role, which prescribes poses and tattoos. They do not have the freedom to suddenly wear a business suit because others in their circle would begin to question their sincerity, which depends on displaying the right appearance. People have more freedom to bring more of their personal qualities into the role they play once they have established themselves and their competence and no longer in question. But this is always within limits. Consciously or unconsciously, most of us adhere to what is expected of our role because we realize our social success depends on this. Some may refuse to play this game, but in the end, they are marginalized and forced to play the outsider role. With limited options and decreasing freedom as they get older, in general, it is best to simply accept this dynamic and derive some pleasure from it. You are not only aware of the proper appearances you must present but know how to shape them for maximum effect. You can then transform yourself into a superior actor on the stage of life and enjoy your moment in the limelight. The following are some basics in the art of impression management. Master the nonverbal cues. In certain settings, when people want to get a fix on who you are, they pay greater attention to the nonverbal cues we emit. This could be in a job interview, a group meeting, or a public appearance. Aware of this, smart social performers will know how to control these cues to some degree and consciously emit the signs that are suitable and positive. They know how to seem likable, flash genuine smiles, use welcoming body language, and mirror the people they deal with. They know the dominance cues and how to radiate confidence. They know that certain looks are more expressive than words in conveying disdain or attraction. In general, you want to be aware of your nonverbal style so you can consciously alter certain aspects for better effect. Be a method actor. In method acting, you train yourself to be able to display the proper emotions on command. You feel sad when your part calls for it by recalling your own experiences that cause such emotions, or if necessary by simply imagining such experiences. The point is that you have control. In real life, it is not possible to train ourselves to such a degree, but if you have no control, you are continually emoting whatever comes to you in the moment. You will subtly signal weakness and an overall lack of self mastery. Learn how to consciously put yourself in the right emotional mood by imagining how and why you should feel the emotion suitable to the occasion or performance you are about to give. Surrender to the feeling for the moment so that the face and body are naturally animated. Sometimes, by actually making yourself smile or frown, you will experience some of the emotions that go with these expressions. Just as important, train yourself to return to a more neutral expression at a neutral moment. Careful to not go too far with your emoting. Adapt to your audience. Although you conform to certain parameters set by the role you play, you must be flexible. A master performer like Bill Clinton never lost sight of the fact that as president he had to project confidence and power. But if he was speaking to a group of auto workers, he would adjust his accent and his words to fit the audience, and he would do the same for a group of executives. Know your audience and shape your nonverbal cues to their style and taste. Create the proper first impression. It has been demonstrated how much people tend to judge based on first impressions and the difficulties they have in reassessing these judgments. Knowing this, you must give extra attention to your first appearance before an individual or group. In general, it is best to tone down your nonverbal cues and present a more neutral front. Too much excitement will signal insecurity and might make people suspicious. A relaxed smile, however, and looking people in the eye in these first encounters can do wonders for lowering their natural resistance. Use dramatic effects. This mostly involves mastering the art of presence slash absence. If you are too present, if people see you too often or can predict exactly what you will do next, they will quickly grow bored with you. You must know how to selectively absent yourself, to regulate how often and when you appear before others, making them want to see more of you, not less. Cloak yourself in some mystery, displaying some subtly contra- contradict contradictory qualities. People don't need to know everything about you. Learn to withhold information. In general, make your appearances and your behavior less predictable. Project saintly qualities. No matter what historical period we are living through, there are certain traits that are always seen as positive and that you must know how to display. For instance, the appearance of saint saintless saintlessness never goes out of fashion. Apparently saintly today is certainly different in content from the 16th century, but the essence is the same. You embody what is considered good and above reproach. In the modern world, this means showing yourself as progressive, supremely tolerant, and open minded. You will want to be seen giving generously to certain causes and supporting them on social media. Projecting sincerity and honesty always plays well. A few public confessions of your weaknesses and vulnerabilities will do the trick. For some reason, people see signs of humility as authentic, even though people might very well be simulating them. Learn how to occasionally lower your head and appear humble. If dirty work must be done, get others to do it. Your hands are clean. Never overly play the Machiavellian leader. That only works well on television. Use the appropriate dominance cues to make people think you are powerful, even before you reach the heights. You want to seem like you were destined for success, a mystical effect that always works. The master of this game has to be Emperor Augustus, 63 BC to AD 14 of ancient Rome. Augustus understood the value of having a good enemy, a villain with whom he could contrast himself. For this purpose, he used Mark Antony, his early rival for power, as the perfect foil. Augustus personally allied himself with everything traditional in Roman society, even placing his home near the spot where the city had supposedly been found. While Antony was off in Egypt, dallying with Queen Cleopatra and giving in to a life of luxury, Augustus could continually point to their differences, showing himself off as the embodiment of Roman values, which Anthony had betrayed. Once he became the supreme leader of Rome, Augustus made a public show of humility, of giving back powers to the Senate and to the people. He spoke a more vernacular Latin and lived simply, like a man of the people. And for all this, he was revered. It was, of course, all a show. In fact, he spent most of his times in a luxurious villa outside Rome. He had many mistresses who came from places as exotic as Egypt, and while seeming to give away power, he held on tightly to the real reins of control, the military. Obsessed with the theater, Augustus was a master showman and wearer of masks. He must have realized for these were the last words he spoke on his deathbed. Have I played my part in the farce of life well enough? Realizing the following: the word personality comes from the Latin persona, which means mask. In the public, we all wear masks, and this has a positive function. If we displayed exactly who we are and spoke our minds truthfully, we would offend almost everyone and reveal qualities that are best concealed. Having a persona playing a role well actually protects us from people looking too closely at us, with all of the insecurities that would churn up. In fact, the better you play your role, the more power you will occur, and with power you will have the freedom to express more of your peculiar peculiar peculiarities. If you take this far enough, the persona you present will match many of your unique characteristics, but always heighten for effect. A quote by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a case of identity. You appeared to read a good deal upon her, which was quite invisible to me. Not invisible, but unnoticed, Watson. You did not know where to look, and so you missed all that was important. I can never bring you to realize the importance of sleeves, the suggestiveness of thumbnails, or the great issues that may hang from a bootlace. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 3. Tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 4. Determine the strength of people's characters. So I'll leave that for tomorrow. In closing, subscribe to the channel, comment any questions you have, like if the information was inspiring for you, and share this knowledge with other alchemists. Also, follow me on Instagram for more progressive knowledge. You can catch me at Max_Bugatti_8008. I'm all about family first. I'm an investor in stocks and alternative energy. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an aerospace botanist. I have a confidence building program, and I'm currently out here in San Francisco, California. While you're slaying dragons, I'll be taming them.